Thank you for choosing Riddell shoulder pads this football season. At Riddell, we understand that shoulder pads should provide optimal protection and a range of motion conducive to a player's on-field responsibilities. Riddell shoulder pads come in a range of models and sizes, so you'll find shoulder pads that offer superior comfort, mobility, and protection. Determining a player's chest size and shoulder width are the first things to do when fitting a player into Riddell shoulder pads. To get an accurate chest measurement, wrap a measuring tape around the upper torso of the player, beginning and ending in the center of the player's chest. The number that appears when the measuring tape meets is the player's chest size. Write down the player's chest measurement for future reference. To determine a player's shoulder width measurement, stretch a measuring tape over the natural contour of the player's shoulders, starting from the tip of the left humerus and ending on the tip of the right humerus. Do not measure straight across. The number that appears over the right humerus will be the player's shoulder width measurement. As you did with the chest measurement, write down the shoulder width measurement for future reference. Now that you have accurate chest and shoulder width measurements, you can give the player the shoulder pads that are best suited for his position. Jack's chest measurement was 32.5 inches, and his shoulder width measurement was 16 inches. We'll take Jack's measurements into account and fit him with shoulder pads that are designed for his size. To give Jack optimal protection and range of motion, we'll try on the Riddell Warrior 2X shoulder pads. To ensure that every football player is fitted in the correct shoulder pads, refer to the individual sizing charts in the Riddell catalog or on the website at www.riddell.com. To put on the shoulder pads, slowly bring them down over the player's head, being careful of the nose and eyes. Tie the front laces and then pull the straps to connect the front and back of the shoulder pads. If the shoulder pads come with belts, buckle them. Once fastened, the belts and straps should establish a tight fit in the area of the chest and back without irritating the player's underarm region. A tight fit in these areas will lift and lock the pads into place over the humerus. When locked into this position, the shoulder pads will absorb an impact and direct its energy away from the humerus. Once the pads are on the player's shoulders, make sure there's no pinching or binding in the collar or neck opening. A player should be able to turn his head from side to side without pinching the skin located around the neck opening. Next, determine where the foam padding lies in relation to the tip of the player's humerus. For the best fit, the foam padding should lie at least 1/4 inch above the tip of the player's humerus. Make sure there is coverage over the sternum and front upper shoulders of the player. Also make sure there is coverage over the player's scapula and rhomboid. Properly fitted shoulder pads will cover and protect the player's shoulder blade as well as the upper musculature of the player's back. To ensure a proper fit, double-check that there is no pinching or binding in the collar or neck opening, that there is at least 1/4 inch between the foam padding that extends past the tip of the player's humerus, and that there is coverage over the player's sternum, scapula, and rhomboid areas. A proper fit will give the player the best protection and the range of motion he needs for his position. This concludes our tutorial. Thanks again for choosing Riddell shoulder pads. Good luck this football season. We hope you look to Riddell for all your protective equipment needs.